Following the layoffs in Xbox, Game Pass, the price is going up. Well, kind of as I talked about, the new fiscal year for Microsoft is bringing new changes to Xbox. Now, if you've been watching this channel for more than 5 minutes, you'll know I've been talking about this Call of Duty tax that I've been expecting to come to Game Pass, and well, Microsoft has officially revealed price hikes for Game Pass. Now, they're not officially calling this the Call of Duty tax, but Microsoft is making a massive shakeup to the pricing, the tiers, the structure, and everything to Game Pass. And we really need to dive into the details because if you're a legacy customer, well, some things will change, maybe the price, and some of the features are going away. Also, for new customers, if you wanted one of those legacy tiers, you're out of luck. So let's roll into the details here with that classic B-roll. So Microsoft has announced that they are making changes for Xbox Game Pass. Notably, Xbox Game Pass for console will be closed or shut down effectively for new users. So if you are paying for Xbox Game Pass for console, you will be allowed to maintain your membership or your subscription. But if you're listening and watching this, it's probably already too late and you cannot sign up for Xbox Game Pass for console. Now, new users on Xbox Game Pass will have a new Xbox Game Pass standard starting at $14.99. Now, there's some big changes here because the standard version, and this is where this deviation will occur, does not include Xbox Day One game releases. So that thing that Xbox has been hyping up, it's like Day One on Game Pass. Well, it's now Day One on Game Pass with a caveat, because that caveat be if you're not in the right tier, you might not be getting it. Other things the standard version does include, access to the back catalog. It also includes Xbox Live Gold, or what we typically know as multiplayer, but it does not include Xbox Cloud Gaming. You can get all that for $14.99 dues a month. Now, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, the top dog, the thing that includes everything, nothing is changing except for everything. And by everything, I mean primarily the price. It is going from $16.99 a month, and it will now be, starting in September, $19.99 a month. So $20 a month to have access to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and everything that includes multiplayer, that includes cloud gaming, that includes live and everything else, and day one releases notably. Now, that is not all the changes. PC Game Pass will also continue to get day one releases. However, that price will be going from $9.99 per month to $11.99. Also, Xbox Game Pass Core, which is just the multiplayer, gets an annual price increase to $74.99 from $59.99. Remember, you used to be able to pay for it up front and get a nice discount. However, it will now be available also for $9.99 per month. All of these changes, except for with the caveat here, are going to be taking place on September 12th, 2024. I'm not quite sure why September 12th. I feel like they've made some changes like this previously, but mid-September is what you need to be remembering here for all of these changes, where that price will magically go up, and depending on the tier that you sign up for, some features can go away as well. So here's the other date you need to know about, July 10th, which is why when I suspect that most people are watching this, it's already too late. That is when those quote-unquote legacy tiers will be gone. That means you will be signing up for Xbox Game Pass Standard. And yeah, so keep that in mind here. So there's a lot of challenges related to Xbox Game Pass. First off, Microsoft, as we know, is under a lot of pressure to show growth. And from reading the tea leaves over the years, it doesn't look like they're seeing a lot of growth in Game Pass subscriptions. So how do you raise more money? Well, you just raise the prices. Microsoft, here's something to keep in mind. Microsoft is testing the stickiness of the service, right? How much can they raise the price and get away with it? Spotify does this, every service does this, where the churn, which means people leaving the service, outweighs the benefit of raising the price. They've already done one price increase, so they have some data like on what the churn will expect it to be for people. And clearly it has come out and they've realized we can raise this price. And so I refer to this as the Call of Duty effect. Remember earlier this year, Microsoft announced that, hey, Call of Duty is going to be coming to Game Pass, day one release. Although I thought I had queued up a Call of Duty video, we'll just roll with this B-roll instead. little mistake. Anyways, Call of Duty is coming on day one, and everyone's like, yes, Call of Duty day one. In the back of my brain thinking like, that was a previous billion-dollar event. Now granted, they're going to make a bunch of money on PlayStation, they'll make a bunch of money on PC likely as well, but on the console for the Xbox, they're going to be losing tens to hundreds of millions of dollars. And how are they going to get that back? Well, they do that by jacking up the price, roughly $3 per month for people on Ultimate or your various tiers, and that is going to help do this. It comes down to this. How many games do you typically buy in a year, and how much value does Game Pass deliver? Well, if they're shoving a bunch of Activision titles in there, and the answer to you is 2, if you buy 2 or more games a year, then the Game Pass subscription still makes sense. And I suspect that Microsoft acutely knows how many people typically play. They probably have some metric like, okay, how many titles do people have that they play will make something more than 10 hours in a month, or 10 hours in a quarter, whatever it is. And if that number is like 4 or 5, then they really know like how high they could put that pricing. They could put it $39 a month, right? That's still better for most people. Myself falls into this. Now, I don't play every single day one game release that drops into Game Pass. However, I will play Call of Duty. I'll absolutely play that. I absolutely play Age of Empires. I occasionally play Flight Simulator. Vampire Survivors was tossed in there. And so like, to me, it's still in that, yeah, it makes sense, but like raising the price just doesn't feel good for anybody along the way. Microsoft likes to do this in July because, again, the fiscal year has turned over as of June 30th and they need to make more money. And so Microsoft is expecting big things to come from Black Ops 6 being a day one release. And so the Call of Duty / Activision tax has officially arrived. And so the question becomes, are the titles in there enough to justify the value? You can make your own arguments today about one way or another. I think the real value that Microsoft we're going to start seeing coming into this is going to be that back catalog from the massive acquisition. Right now, Call of Duty is basically absent, right? That back catalog is not there. A lot of their other titles are not there. There are some that have trickled in, but like they've got an expansive title release or expansive catalog. That's what Microsoft paid nearly $70 billion for, and we haven't seen it arrive. But now with the price hike and the changes that are coming, I think we can expect to see a lot more happening this fall. The question becomes, my friends, are you going to keep subscribed? I probably am not going to change anything, and I think that's what Microsoft / Xbox is betting on. I also think I'd probably, and this hurts me to say for other developers, I probably won't be buying any more games, right? I'll play Call of Duty, and whatever else drops into Game Pass, that's probably the only way I'm going to be getting games, because it's hard to justify spending $20 a month, or roughly $240 a year. Isn't that right? Yeah. Something like that, somewhere around there. Plus tax and all that other junk that falls in there. It's hard to justify going out and spending another $70 on a title that's not in there. And so that's what Microsoft's banking on. And we'll see if they are right. Microsoft has obviously bet big on the subscription model for Game Pass. This is the next salvo in their growth story, along with they've got the content, now they've got to get the revenue, and so they're bringing it all together in-house, and there you go. So if you're signed up today, just keep an eye on your bill, because starting in September, things are going to get a little bit more expensive. So there you go, my friends. That wraps it up. Make sure to keep it subscribed here, because the BS on this channel is me.